so it means like we can say that actually accomplishment is relative, or everybody like should take or granted within the same maybe like standards of achievement.
Yes. It should be have a standard for achievement,
Mhm.
especially when we are going to deliver a specific goal, specific output that unique, which is divine. It's already defined at the beginning about the quality, about the specific form of the output we are
Mm,
wanted to achieve,
okay.
and specific for example, with specific form or specific cost and time. That's all. I think we have a standard how we are deliver our product or
Mhm.
our goals, I think.
Okay. All right. All right. But in here, it might be interesting for me to take a look and here, like, okay, you believe that accomplishing achievement is one of like a good way for like the personal growth too. But can you tell the difference, maybe like about the success within like personal and in the personal professional context? So did you find it in a different way, like a personal achievement and a professional context achievement?
Yes, especially in professional achievement, we there's a measurement how
Mm,
about the product we deliver.
okay.
As I mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
it's already described at the first
Okay.
when you have the assignment about the task, about the job, what kind of product you need to deliver,
Okay.
about the specification, about the
Mhm.
quality, about the time or when you need to
Okay.
finish it, and about also about the cost, how much the cost it takes.
Mhm.
It's already described at the first stage about
Okay.
the deliverables. So there's a standard to measure
Mhm.
are we can deliver the output successfully or not.
Mhm. Okay. So this is interesting. But as you mentioned, it might be within like a professional context. But if we turned into like a personal pursuit of achievement, so should we put a standard too for like personal achievement?
I think it has a common same approach, I think, but
Okay.
when maybe but when it is a personal goals, not
Mm,
quite what we call quite tight in
mm,
measurement, but we
mm,
can ensure all the aspect concern related are fulfilled or aligned with our initial requirements,
mm,
how the goals will be achieved, or how the goals will be delivered.
mm. Okay. All right. And here, if we jump into the examples, okay, like can you provide an example of situation where
Yes.
successful achievement had a significant impact on your growth or development during your current job position?
Yes, for example, I think is example when we want to build a house, at the beginning we
Mm-hmm.
will design it how uh, how the house will be, about what how many floors, how many window, how many
Mm,
the design itself, how it will be the form of the house we can
mm,
design, and then after design it, we draw it, we can count how much cost it takes, how
okay.
much time it takes to build the house,
mm,
and also about the specification, about the standard of the safety, or
mm,
about our specific requirement about the air, the quality of the air, or the quality of the paint, the color of the
mm,
the, the floor. We can
mm.
we can design it at the first. That's we call the planning stage. we
Okay.
we go into the planning stage. We plan what we want to be, the output will be, and then we after
Mm,
the planning we can then we go to the execution stage. We are that we
mm.
start to build the house. Uh, and in
Okay.
reality, sometimes we found what we are planned not going well in the reality, or what we are planned cannot be implemented in the reality.
Mm,
That's the another process need to do is about monitor and perform integrated change if we need to change about
mm,
our initial plan. Example, uh,
mm,
what we want
mm,
about the floor. At the first we want such uh, such uh, I think a unique floor we want to be, but when we try to implement it, when we try to build, there's no such a pen in the market. So you need to do
mm,
change because something you want cannot be implemented at that time because of the
mm,
risk, some risk, or some issue happen. Uh, I think that's uh, easy example. How
mm,
uh, uh, about how we turn our aspiration, our plan into reality. Sometimes we
ah,
have
okay.
many risks will be happen.
Mm,
Uh, Even we already anticipate the risk at the plan state. At the planning stage, we also plan about the risk and how
mm,
to respond the risk, about how to
mm,
mitigate, or also about how to anticipate the risk,
mm.
or but sometimes we will found unplanned risks happen
Yeah,
uh,
what's happening? Okay.
when we are doing the project itself.
Okay, but here, Mister, that's interesting. From your answers, I underlined one important part. Like sometimes the achievement will not belong to a personal achievement somehow, because within like a professional context, we are going to get along with other subordinates within a team. So in the stage of executions, or maybe in planning. So in a team setting, how do you ensure, because like you are now chairing as a project manager, how do you ensure that the strategy that you propose contribute to not only individual success, but also the overall success of the team or the project?
Yes, there are five uh, process we need to do when we are going to deliver the project. The first is initiating process. In
Mm,
initiating process, first we need to understand what we are going to deliver, about the scope,
mm,
about the time, about the cost, about uh,
okay.
constraints, about also
Mm,
about concern of stakeholders, what they are concerned about, what they are objective. We need to understand them in initiating
mm,
process. After we got initiating, then we continue about the planning, how we plan to deliver
mm,
the result. The planning itself start from the collect. We are collecting the requirements. We need to define all the
okay.
requirements based on what we got from initiating process. We need
Mm,
to list down all the requirement, After we
mm,
define all the requirement, then we are going to, then we make a schedule. We make schedule based on the requirement. We need to what activities need to do to deliver the
mm.
requirement. So we need to
Okay.
define all the activities we need to do, and then we also another after that we need to sequence them, and then we also estimate about the duration, how long it takes
Mm,
every single activities. After the schedule, then we
mm.
continue about the cost. We need
Okay.
to estimate how much the
Mm,
activity will cost, and then
mm,
we go to plan about our quality, about our resource management. uh,
mm, mm,
Resource is about not only the people but only the material itself, where we will
mm,
going to buy the material, which quality of material we need to buy, based on our budget that we plan
mm,
in the resource management.
mm,
uh,
mm,
Another that we need to plan about the communication. We need to plan about at the first, I put the identify stakeholder, because when we deliver a things, there are stakeholders on it, that right. The stakeholder is
mm,
the one who impact directly or
mm.
not indirectly of the project.
Okay.
In that case, for example, when our project is to build a house, so the main stakeholder is the owner. So we need to plan how to communicate to the owner to ensure what he expect uh, me as the project manager to build his house is on
Mm,
track, aligned with what he want to be, uh, the project, the house will be. And then I also plan about the risk, what kind of risk will happen along the project,
mm,
and I also plan plan uh, how to plan the risk response. So I need to qualify the risk, and then
mm,
also identify the impact of the risk, and if it
mm.
happen, how to respond them. That's what we
Okay.
call about the risk management. And also in the planning, I also make how I procure the
Mm,
requirement, where what kind of procurement strategy I will do, where we are going to buy the material, etc. About the procurement. After I
mm.
did planning phase, then I'll continue about the executing. It's time to execute the plan. You know, at the first I will
Mm,
acquire the resources I need to build a house, and
mm,
then I develop them and manage them to work uh, based on what we already planned at the planning stage, about the sequence, about the activities,
mm,
about the time concern. Then we are continue to executing the works. While executing, I also manage about the quality. Are the quality
mm.
already meet the standard as we are defined in the planning stage? Are the quality is uh, off track or on track about what we are planned in the planning stage?
Mm, okay.
Also, I manage communication with the stakeholder
Mm,
to tell them about the progress,
okay.
the build progress, and also
Mm,
I ensure the engagement with the stakeholder is maintained during the project. Also,
okay.
I do my procurement as I plan in the planning stage, and also if if a risk happen in the executing phase, I also plan the risk response, which I already plan at the planning stage also.
mm,
At the fourth process is monitoring and controlling. The
mm,
first, at the monitoring and controlling, the first is I do validation about
mm,
the scope. At the first,
okay.
as I mentioned earlier, at the first time I collect all the requirements, what the
Mm,
requirements will be, what kind of scope, what the house will be. I also is already clearly
mm,
described in the planning space. So
okay.
when I do the works, I need to check are the house is same as we are planned or not. Is the
Mm,
first. If there is a change, I need to check the impact.
okay.
What's wrong about the plan? Why it changed?
Mm,
If
mm,
something need to change to make it back on track, I will do the change. So
ah,
that's the importance of monitoring and controlling process. And then
okay.
I also check about the schedule. Are the schedule still aligned with our
Mm,
plan? Also about the cost, are still on
mm,
budget, not over budget. Also about the quality, also the check about the quality are aligned with our plan in the planning stage. Also check about
mm,
the risks. Are are all the risks already on maintained? And also about I need to check about the procurement, about the communication,
mm,
and I do controlling the resources.
mm,
After
okay.
I deliver all the project successfully through the process for process I mentioned earlier. Then I go to the
Mm,
closing stage, which I close the project building
mm,
the house. That's the
okay.
sequence of process I need to do to ensure
Mm,
what we are planned in the initiating what the goals our
mm,
stakeholder to us to deliver is
mm,
deliver successfully uh, be, uh, successfully with within time, within
mm,
scope, and
okay.
within budget given by
Mm,
the stakeholders or the sponsor.
stakeholders.
Yes.
Oh,
Maybe I
okay.
can
So
give
that's really interesting. But
you maybe I can give you a picture. What I
mm,
describe is about the PMBOK guideline. PMBOK
okay.
is Project Management Book of Knowledge guideline, which guide you
Okay.
how to deliver the project successfully.
Mm,
Uh, wait, I'll give you. Okay. Can you see in your WhatsApp, Mister?
okay. Sure. Then I will check it out. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Yeah.
That's all what
Okay.
I
Well, I like.
this
Mm,
yes what I talk
yeah.
about.
Okay. So Pemba Guide 6. Okay. That's really interesting. And this one, Mr. Johan, dealing with an execution phase, and also related to the communication. Um, Previously, like you mentioned, that you will need to make sure that the partnership within like the stakeholder run well. But how do you ensure effective communication and collaboration among team during the execution phase? I mean, can you provide an example of a time when this was particularly important? Like, some conditional might be happening in the middle within an execution phase. And what
Yes,
kind of method
yes.
will you
We
keep in on
use
it?
we use in project we use regular meetings with all the teams about the progress. So
Mm-hmm.
so the teams understand where they are at and what they have been have done. Also, I
Mm-hmm.
also give them the information about about the quality we deliver, about the cost we
Mm-hmm.
are already spent, and what uh, how many time left to
Mm-hmm.
for us to deliver the
Okay.
project. So they they buy in the situation, they understand the situation, and we do
Mm-hmm.
collaborative works. We engage with all the team, with all key stakeholder to ensure we work together as a team, deliver the work successfully within budget, within time, and within scope as described from the sponsor.
Okay. Hello,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Hello, hello. Check, check, check.
Hello, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, yeah. But
Oh,
it was lost at the end.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
We are do collaborative works, which everyone
Mm-hmm.
will be engaged as as the whole team, the one team who deliver their works. So we need to
Mm-hmm.
to do to collaborative works together. Uh,
Okay.
with have some with have the same objective, with same goals, so we can deliver the project successfully.
Mm, okay. Okay. And Mr. Johan, this might be
Yes.
interesting. So far I know because like, from the picture that you have shown over to me. Okay. I got like one questions to you. Because might be in the term of the project, it will take some times. Okay. Like the ongoing time. And within the time, um, sometimes like we cannot deal with the motivations, right? And how do you maintain the motivation and the momentum among yourself and your team members during the execution phase of the project? Because sometimes like within like the conflict and the complexity of the project, motivations will be like going up and down, fluctuative.
Yes, yes, that the most important thing, I think. That's what I did
Mm,
last month when I visited Medan.
okay.
uh,
Okay. Huh.
I see, I saw most of the team are demotivated because they are not they
Okay.
don't know what we are going to do, what they do, what it's all about, what's the reason behind it, why they need to
Okay.
ensure the works is product efficient. There's no repetitive
Mm,
works, there's no extra works
mm,
to do. They need to ensure the first time rank is running well in the project. Why, when, why?
mm,
So uh,
mm,
last week, uh, I give them some discussion, deep discussion, I think. uh, i I gave them the knowledge about the
mm,
project management, what we are already discussed previously. Why you
mm,
need to ensure you already deliver the quality as the plan. Why you need to ensure the scope you deliver is same what the scope is already defined at the planning stage. Why you
mm,
need to check your costs is already
mm,
aligned with your cost baseline, which you define in the planning stage. Why?
mm.
Because you are doing a business. You are
Okay.
doing a business is how much revenue you get from the customer,
Mm,
reduced by cost you are spent. It's your what we call in project we call margin.
oh
Margin
yeah,
about
margin.
our what we call in English keuntungan ya.
Okay. Profit.
Yes, profit. That's our profit.
Mm,
So we are doing business. So you need to ensure your project is profitable, not not over
mm,
cost, not over budget. So uh, you need to ensure your project is profitable and make profit for your company. That's what
mm.
I did last week with all the team
Okay.
because
Okay.
they
Same as
don't
like you're
know.
trying.
Yes,
Mm,
they don't know what's the reason behind it. What the
mm,
reason why they need to do such activities, such what we call uh, uh, monitoring and controlling activities. Why? We always
mm,
need to check and recheck and do
mm,
the corrective action when we found the discrepancies or the gaps between what we are planned
mm,
and what we are got in our project.
mm. Okay. Okay. That's really interesting. And this one, Mr. Like coming into like like the post executions, okay, after like all projects done, how would you measure that like the accomplished project or the accomplished work literally fit to the customer's demand?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, at the first
Mm,
we are collecting the requirements, and then
okay.
and the monitoring and controlling phase, you can see that their validate scope and control scope. I do check
Mm,
are our products, our deliverables are meet with the requirements which
mm,
I already gather at the beginning of the project.
mm.
If they if
Okay.
if
Okay.
it so I can tell that I already deliver the project within.
Mm. Oh, okay. Okay. So what about this one? At the end, just like, in imaginary conditions, okay, like your stakeholders that you are going to get a partnership with, okay, like called out for a complaint. But at the same time, you over already called out all requirements and every single step on the track. But at the end, your customer, okay, called out for the complaint. So will you take it into account or just like give it away? As long as like you did it already.
Yes, that's why the guideline is exists. The
Hmm.
guideline based on the experience from the thousand of project managers in the world to ensure
Okay.
they can from the guideline they can help us is the mental
Hmm.
model, I think, how we deliver the
Okay.
works. So
Okay.
from your is case, if the main
Hmm.
stakeholder are complain at the end of the project about
Hmm.
about the deliverables, we can
Hmm.
see in initiating process. There's a
Okay.
develop project charter is about the assignment. The assign is a high level charter uh, from the first sponsor or the main stakeholder who gave us the
Hmm.
assignment to do the works.
Hmm.
So the
Okay.
charter itself content about how will the deliverables will be, about the
Hmm.
specification, about the budget, about the time,
mm,
about the quality. It's defined in the project charter. So
mm,
as the project manager, we are our job is to ensure what we are project deliver is meet what the criteria about the specification mentioned in the project
mm,
charters. As long as meet, so there's no I think there's no there if the complaint we can easily to manage the complaint
mm,
from the stakeholder, understand them that we are already deliver as they are requested at the beginning.
okay. Okay, so no matter what it takes, as long as like you kept on the track, that's the way you are going to say out to them.
Yes, because already we already capture about the requirement, about the goals,
Mm,
about the objective, and the initiating process.
okay, all right. But
So
here, I mean, like,
if
before,
they
like we come into,
Mhm.
yeah, go on, Mister.
Yes, if they change, sometimes we are, in a project, sometimes the customer change
Mm,
their plan uh, in the
okay,
middle of the
yeah, that's what I want
project,
to ask.
in the middle of
Okay.
the project, or at the end of the project. So uh, when a changes happen, we need to
Mm,
analyze how are the changes will impact about our scope, about our budget, about the time also, or about the
mm,
quality. If the change
okay.
will impact to those constraints, so we need to share what we call change control board. It's a board meeting from the main stakeholder to understand the situation, to understand about the change, and the change we need to do to accommodate or to accept
Mm,
new changes what the stakeholder requested
mm,
along the project, in the middle of the project, or at the end of the project. So every changes should be managed as the as the process itself named as CR, change request. So you can
chain
see
request.
in the monitoring control there's a black box. Perform integrated
Mm,
change request, change control. It means integrated change, not only about the scope, but the time, but the cost. We
mm,
we analyze all the aspect uh, impact with the changes.
okay. Yeah, 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 that's really great. Okay, so here, I feel like you have mentioned out and conceptualized, okay, the idea and then the sequential phases, okay, like coming from the planning to the executions. Before we jump into like a review and improvement, but here, could you like to mention one of maybe like a project that you thought it drained your energy and focus because like maybe the flexibility and then the uncertainty and then a lot of changes in the middle that you had ever been through before.
Yes, you can from the picture we can see most of, I think, almost 50% of the process
Mm,
itself will be the planning stage. We need to
okay.
plan. So before
Mm,
we are doing something, we need to plan. As we are understand, plan what fail to plan is plan to fail. So it's
okay.
the most important process is about the planning process. So we need to ensure
Planning.
we do planning process well, So
mm,
it will give you what we call as so you're confident to deliver your project well, then
mm,
ensure your output will be successful. Success success as the mentioned in your project scope at
oh,
the beginning of the project.
okay.
So the planning stage the most important process in the
Mm,
project management.
okay. Okay. But in your honest opinion, Mr. Johan, okay, um, do you consider that every single project accomplished has a different rate of satisfaction, or you take all granted within equal?
Satisfaction is based on what at the initiating process there are many stakeholders.
Mm, okay.
So we divide them based on their interests and based on
Hmm.
their power. So
Okay.
the stakeholder with have high interest and high powers. So we
Mm,
need to what we call our strategy is we are fully engaged with him with the stakeholder. But for
mhm,
the one who only have high interest but no power, we only need to inform
mm,
them or
mm.
keep them informed about the progress. So the the satisfaction is related to the stakeholder. With stakeholders, we need
Mhm,
to be to make them satisfied. Which stakeholder we need to make them informed,
mhm.
or which stakeholder need to we don't need it's so basically it's depend about uh, who our stakeholders.
Okay. Okay. So you put like your satisfactions on the objective point of view in here.
Yes,
It relies
so
on
that
the stakeholders, not in
yes that
yourself.
at the beginning the project we need to identify
Mm,
who our stakeholders,
mm,
and then the planning phase we need to plan stakeholder engagement, how we engage with them. There are many stakeholders we need to identify, and then we plan how to engage with them. So we need to
mm.
identify and map them into the quadrant, four quadrants, and
Mm.
it will guide you how to 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 make them satisfy.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay. But here, as you are chairing as a project manager, Mr., like after all project got done and it's jumping into like review and improvement. So according to you, how do you approach the process of reviewing your accomplishment to ensure that you have achieved success effectively? I mean, like I underline effectively in here.
Yes, in project you can easily your accomplishment is success is first your
Mhm.
deliverables is met with the scope.
Within scope. Okay.
Yes, you can deliver it on time, you can
Mhm.
deliver it within schedule, and you can deliver it with the quality as you
Mm,
plan.
okay.
And also
Okay.
on top of that, your stakeholder are happy with your achievement.
Mm, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, but here, if let's say we put this on the stakeholder, but in the term of a team context, how do you facilitate the review and improvement process to ensure that everyone's contributions are considered and leveraged for the future successes?
Yes, I'm the project manager. My job is to what we call as a dirigent, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Assemble
Example.
assemble all the team, so
Mm,
the team
mm,
works efficiently, and they work uh, in collaborative ways, support each
mm,
other, understand each other, respect each other,
okay.
and willing to do
Mm,
works to give their best to deliver the works on time, on budget, and on
mm,
the scope.
okay.
That's what the project manager need to do, to assemble all the team work together as
Mm,
a team to deliver the
mm,
goals.
mm, okay. Okay. But if the situation's like this, Mr. Johans, after all the project done and accomplished properly, how do you deal within like your subordinate and team context when there remained some kind of interpersonal conflict among members? And how
Yes,
do you step on the moderate way?
yes, yeah. There are many conflict resolution. How to
Mm,
handle the conflicts. Uh,
mm,
we can confrontate them. We can ask them in personal and give them the direction. There are many ways how to solve the conflicts within teams. But the most important, I think, how to deal
mm,
with the conflicts. The conflicts is all about. There are five stage
mm,
in the team, from the team is formed
mm,
until they can perform, and then they they what we call
mhm,
they finish the work and then start to adjuring
mm,
the team adjuring. So the
mm,
stage is forming, norming,
mm,
storming, performing, and adjuring. That's the five stage of the team,
mm,
from the zero until they can perform, deliver the works, and then they start to because the project is already end, then they start
mm.
to adjuring. That's all about the team processes. So
Okay.
my job as the project manager
Mhm.
to and to what we call to to
Yeah.
work with them
Mhm,
along the project from the start to the end,
mhm,
ensure their work efficiently, and
mm.
they the first they know what what goal they need to accomplish. That's the
Right.
basically what time they have, what
Mm.
how many how much money they have, and also
Okay.
about the quality they need to deliver. That's the I think the main point they need
Mm,
to have to
mm.
deliver the works.